All right, welcome back. We're keeping the streak alive. It's day 5 of Duolingo. Let's do a little review of what happened last time. Let's see. We started the second unit. Didn't quite get through 2 little things. A little bit of well, loosey-goosey. Let's see what we remember. So we have kind of like introductions, right? So we were introduced to the honorific sa, sun, sa, sun, right? Just a little practice. Let's see. Sa, sa, oh no, that's not is right. And that's the honorific for the, I suppose, the formal. So a lot of time, apparently, it is implied and contextual if you add this, right? This to a name or proper noun. And then we had oh ni chi wa, right? Konnichiwa. Well, actually, it might be called e. No, definitely. My bad. I did the We'll see, man. I haven't been looking at Romaji for a while now. Okay. Konnichiwa. And then we had ja a ne. Yane. And do u zo. Yo ro. Shi gu. Dojo yoroshiku. So we have hello. I stopped thinking about the English equivalent. I'm just saying them. So konnichiwa, jane, dojo yoroshiku, right? I think those are the 4 elements. So generally they are still keeping within line of the 4 elements, right? Per unit. Per like cluster, per pair. And yesterday we got some fun stuff with our new characters. I think it's just 4 characters yesterday. So we had Ku. Whoops, that's Ku, right? Which now actually I can officially spell out MAKU, right? Ma. And then Ku, which is funny, which is nice. So Ku. I'm pretty sure Ma. Oh no. I think Ma and stuff was yesterday too. So we had Ma. Oh, it might be the day before. But I do remember these 3. Oops. Ra. Oh, actually. That's not Ra. Ra is... Oh, no. That's last time. Ra is this. This is our new one with the Ku set. So Ku... This is Na. Makes me think of Na. Missing the 2 in between. It was like Ku, Na is at the end. We're gonna try to use my mind palace and look at juxtaposition. So, Mo. So Mo was in this position. Ignore that. I can't erase Mo. Right. Ku, Mo. Blank will get it with contextual clues. So this is me rehearsing my total recall, right? The eidetic recall, which is generally a strategy I don't typically use. I use contextual clues like positioning and order. So I kind of like that they stick to with 4 elements. Usually these exercises also couple the elements together. So like a lot of times, for example, right? Oh boy. Is coupled with U, A, right? A, except O. O was not part of the group since there are 4 elements. So A, E, right? So these elements were coupled together a lot of times. It's kind of nice. It gives like positional, and you can use root word techniques to associate them. So like, for example, for me, the origin root words, when they demonstrate, is how I remember the stuff. So like aka is where I remember the ak and the ka, right? Which ka is, oh boy. Oh, right. Yeah, ka, aka, right? So things like that. Also, let's just start with a fun little story, right? So jane, right? Ne is very related to another word in the Fujianese dialect, or a phrase that I use a lot in the Fujianese dialect, and is jane, jane. So it closest thing I can think of is more like Z. So ja and nay. That's probably what I would use as a way to get someone. Well, it's more like, I guess in English it'd be like, how do you get the ja sound? Gha? No, that'll come up ga. Yeah, it's kind of, that would come up ga too. But jane, as in like bye, goodbye, see you. Well, not really see you, but bye, goodbye. And jane, which is very close, but the emphasis is somewhere. Jane, as in sure. It's kind of like a phrase that's like, sure it is, of course it is, depending on how much you emphasize. Or I know, it could be I know, sort of like I know as in like an interjection. So Jane, sure it is. What's going on here? How could you see this actually, Gavin? We're reviewing. We're reviewing what happened yesterday. This is how I review. So that's a phrase that's used a lot in Fujinese. So, jane, which, obviously is goodbye in Japanese. In Fujinese, jane, which is very different. I understand. So if you say jane, I don't think it would be mistaken for jane, right? But jane is, sure it is, of course, I know, in Fujinese. So every time I've encountered this phrase, jane, I think of the attached jane. It's tonal, tonal language. Comparing a tonal language with something a little bit more exact. All right. So that's just a little fun thing to do before we start for today. All right. Let's start. Oh, well, actually, let's take a quick look at our hiragana so far. And I did forget one of our 3 new syllables. It was ku, ku, mo, and ku, mo, 4th position. I already forgot what the 4th position is. Oh, we've got sei. Yeah, sei was introduced yesterday. It's the Borged number sign. That's how we remember that one. Borged number sign. And then na is the 4th position. Why am I learning? Oh, why not? I'll give you the short answer. Short answer is I have a lot of ear training and exposure to the Japanese language based on my consumptions. Other than that, the long answer is that a lot of times on the internet, learning is often dealing with education, but not the other E word, entertainment. So, I, as a much older person, I suppose, older, maybe I'll just call myself an older intellectual. Most things, either education or entertainment, is both part of the idea of learning. So I do play video games, but oftentimes I get pushback about making video games about education and critical thinking and problem solving. And on the side, these things are related to practice, life skills, like communication, and things like time management. Lots of other things, but generally. So for the most part, I play video games in this way. However, language is constantly notoriously associated with education, right? Language. And it has a natural contextual link with communication. Here, I am learning Japanese, or learning it in some way that kind of bridges between education and entertainment, and I'm evaluating the a product called Duolingo at the same time, illustrating how someone like me, who is largely older, more experienced, and focuses more on learning aspects while learning. So I am learning Japanese to really show myself and recording myself on what my current techniques are that I use for learning. And then others can follow or use it however they want to maybe change, inspire some techniques of their own, right? So that's kind of what I'm doing. So the earlier review was using some of the techniques that I typically use to remind myself what happened yesterday. Is it true Japanese is the hardest language in the world? How do you evaluate how hard something is? So, first of all, you gave me, so let's talk about critical thinking and problem solving. So, in the field of critical thinking, right? You asked me a yes or no question. So if I gave you a yes or no question, or if you gave me a yes or no question, the answer is a resounding no, because yes or no tends to be absolute. And what happens is often yes is a very specific case most of the time, and no is everything else. So if you were going to ask me a yes or no question without qualifying anything, the answer is a resounding no. Now that's the short answer. So I'm just giving you a yes or no. So you did cite that kanji is very scary, but kanji relies on a specific prong of learning. And oftentimes this learning uses a technique. I'm just gonna use a term that most people use. Kanji uses brute force. But the thing about brute force is this is a learned mechanical process at an age of 18 or younger. So in order to alleviate the diff of kanji as you're getting older, 18 or older, you're going to have to use memory techniques like associations, context, and lots of like married encoding techniques like integrating sound, visuals, mechanical movements, so like your throat, right, in order to form associations to form kanji, because kanji is pictorial and it's abstraction. And these techniques, most adults do not require these techniques. Generally, their memory techniques that they learned as a younger kid goes enough. It's enough. The reason why a lot of times it appears very scary is because of volume. So volume is scary because your learning mechanics tend to rely on what's called brute forcing. This is what I would call is raw memory. So you're relying on eidetic, I can't spell eidetic at the moment, eidetic recall. So a lot of the times, if you were qualifying what is hard and what is easy, right, it's coming from the perspective of someone who has a learning technique that's refined as they were a kid and then hold on to that refined technique because it's not necessary for adult advanced education. So if you get into a higher level of education, which is good or bad, if you're like someone who's into fine arts, crafts, and fields and stuff, you don't necessarily need these techniques because you're more reliant on intuition. So as you get advanced, when you're thinking about how hard and easy things are, so my perspective, if you're asking for my perspective, this type of mechanical learning is actually difficult for me because I don't use this mechanical type of learning anymore. My approach tends to be using the more refined, adult, like aged techniques where you use associations. So kanji can be difficult in that manner. However, if we were measuring raw volume, right? A lot of times people focus on volume for complexity, as in kanji is pictorial, so it has a large volume that requires raw memory that most people rely on. I don't use that technique very often. So kanji is less daunting, although it is intellectually less interesting as well. Another case in point is kanji can also be compared to Mandarin, which kanji derives from Mandarin. And we're talking about traditional Chinese, which can equally be said to have a lot of volume. And volume is viewed as abstraction, right? So if you do not practice the techniques that I am talking about now, which is association and contextual, volume can be incredibly daunting. So it is incredibly scary and hard, absolutely, for someone who's relying on raw memory. So you remember abstractions. And what is a place that is very similar to abstractions is numbers. So you have to learn the pictorial picture, right? Like 1, 2, 3, or whatever kanji. I know 0 kanji, right? 0 kanji. And you start associations with an abstract meaning. So now you see this huge volume of kanji or traditional Chinese or numbers. Like, for example, when you're doing mathematics, why is mathematics very scary? It's because most of the numbers don't have meanings until you attach them. And then even more complex than that, we have theorems, proofs, right? These are complete abstractions until you actually know them. So it's incredibly daunting. Absolutely. And I'm not really interested in these type of things, but perhaps in the future I'll pick up some kanji here and there. Now, is that hard? On the metrics of volume, it is quite hard. Absolutely. So my guess is that Japanese, your yes or no question is inherently attached to how overwhelmingly the volume of the characters are. Now let's talk about another form of complexity. Just to give you a contrast, I'm not suggesting any language is hard or easy. I think you have a good idea or possibly a better idea of what you consider is hard and easy. And I do too. So I'll give you a short answer in a bit. But there's another level of complexity that's involved. We are talking about combination, combinatory, and associative complexity. Okay? So this deals with how wide the user base is, how flexible the rules are, and how many different combinations. So if I was thinking of a language that is valued by, so users, meaning how many different types of people, how many different types of people are using a language, and then Flexible rules meaning how many rules are changed and, adjusted, which is also associated with the number of users, and also how many combinations there are. So a natural language that would come to mind when it comes to difficulty is the language we're using now, which is English. So the complexity of English excels at the number of users, how many rules are broken, or flexible, right? Flexible, acceptable rules, and in combination. While English might potentially be volume adjusted. So let's take back to volume, right? The volume might be possibly lower than, say, kanji or traditional Chinese, for example, or Mandarin, possibly. We have to remember that Chinese is probably what I have no idea what year, how many years, but it's older language. And then kanji derived from that may potentially be older. However, let's think about volume for a moment. We have an exponential, or maybe another magnitude of varied users, and a magnitude, therefore leading to a magnitude of varied rules, which leads to a magnitude increase of combinations. So this largely creates either a multiplicative or an exponential increase in the English variation. So what happens is eventually, if it hasn't already happened, the widest used language will increase in volume every single year per year faster than a language that has a stronger monocultural influence. So one of the elegance of Japanese when it comes to my perception, if it's hard or easy, is that the rules and the decorum are incredibly consistent. As in, the elegance of Japanese simplicity is that its rules are incredibly consistent. When you try to educate someone in the execution and the nuance of English, what do you usually think of when you think of the phrase teaching someone English? Now, a lot of times, Japanese, you could say, well, it depends on context, right? But you don't often say, well, it depends on who is using that language. In English, you argue all the time about contextual nuances and usage because English is not contextualized based on rules. It's contextualized based on the individual user. So in a way, what language causes misunderstandings that don't make sense versus what language usually causes misunderstanding because it was done incorrectly. So when someone says, oh yeah, you know what I mean, like I use this word, but you know what I mean. While if you think about Japanese hard fast rules, it's like, oh, you just said the wrong word. You pronounced it incorrectly. When you think of English, it's more like, oh, that's how you pronounce it. Oh, this is how I pronounce it. In my place, most people pronounce it this way. So if I had to pick something, I would generally gravitate towards a language that has lots of different rules that people can't agree on, and lots of different users who have their own spin on the language. So in my opinion, not only do I think Japanese is relatively easier, I actually think that's the beauty of Japanese. I quite love the Japanese language because it focuses on monoculturalism. It focuses on retaining the rules and consistencies. It's very Japanese. Like, it's almost inherently Japanese. To understand the culture, you can actually study the language to get a feel of the culture. When you study English, what do you get? Chaos, flexibility, arguments, understanding, like compromises. That's a reflection of the noise that English has. So English, and one last deep cut, because I love talking about language and the evaluation of language. Oftentimes easy means one element or intuition. So if you're an intuitive learner, a lot of times easy becomes associated with flexible, as in how acceptable or tolerant errors are. So when a language is easy, the perception is the rules are very flexible. So you can say a lot of things, you can get away with a lot of things. So when we think about that, and then how it affects volume, right? When it affects volume, it's ironic, it's a paradox. So when the intuition says it's easy because it has flexible rules, anything goes, you can say anything, what happens is it dramatically increases volume. However, because none of that is written in hard stone, you do not see how overwhelming English is. So when you see the word milk, you do not see milk, you know, and I prefer to say milk, but you don't hear milk and milk or milku. You don't see those things. It's not a hard, fast rule. So it's easy because it's tolerant. It can accept so many things. But that only makes it overwhelming. So I have parents that are almost exclusively Fujianese Mandarin speakers. And for example, I had to explain to my mother works night shifts at a grocery store. Night shifts, grocery store. Right? And she came across this button that she didn't understand, and she asked me for an explanation. She said she doesn't know what sprinkles are. No idea what sprinkles are. And when she typed this in to her translator, right, to the Google translator, it said to rain lightly. Sprinkles. Rain lightly. Obviously, that's definitely one way to talk about it. And then it linked to sprinklers, which is the mechanical thing that basically make things rain lightly. Well, it's like a lawn device. Device to, you know, water your lawn and fields and stuff. So she naturally thought this was the most reasonable thing, but why would grocery store sell sprinklers or sprinkles? Well, I told her these are jimmies. Some people use this proper term in order to separate from this meaning, but really it's candy. And really, this is a very specific type of candy and in a specific shape. When I went through this line, I basically ended up having to show her a visual representation of what it is, right? So now let's think about this, just as a slight deep cut. I had to show her a visual representation. the thing about visual representation is that they're universal. Visual representation is one of the type of memory techniques that you can utilize, but this does not mean you know English. The abstraction of the word sprinkles is when you actually learn the English technique, so the English context. So in a way, knowing sprinkles is like kanji. However, in English, English is a descriptor language. So inherently, most people intuit imagery off English. So when they think of sprinkles, they first visualize what sprinkles are or could be, like either the device or the sprinkles, before they generate the word, right? And kanji, a lot of people think of it the other way, where they visualize the kanji first, then think about what it is, which is the same way my parents learn Mandarin. So when they think of sprinkles, it's very hard to think of jimmies or think about sprinkles. Like in my region, I use the word sprinkles. So here's another thing. So she asked me immediately, why is it called sprinkles, right? Why is it called sprinkles? So I told her, because when you sprinkle them, it's like raining lightly. So now I'm trying to demonstrate when someone is evaluating volume or difficulty, it comes with perceptual shifts. And also complexity is not directly associated with flexibility. And flexibility contributes to volume. Words get their meaning for what they do not mean, and what's more, I disagree with that comment, but what's more, meaning is within the socio-logistical context and world knowledge. That's a fair statement. Learning words do not mean learning the language. I disagree, but furthermore, meaning is just a word. Fair enough. I disagree with a lot of things, but I see your point. I can definitely back it up. You learn Japanese 10 months, the grammar is incredibly daunting to you? I see. Well, I haven't gotten to grammar yet. Like the verbs are mostly regular. I see. So this is just to make sure, this is just to go back to your original answer, your original question regarding, I disagree with you completely, but I kind of understand where you're coming from. Giz Luista, that's like compartmentalizing. Long story short, I suppose. Compartmentalizing a context is not my thing. My answer is both, plus all of the above. Saying what it is not and what it is when it comes to how people associate and using language is not my jam, but whatever floats your boat, really. And using terminology that I may or may not even know doesn't help with providing insight or contribution to a discussion. It actually kind of reveals that there's a communication barrier or practice. You check whatever that is, linguistic notes and the basis of semiotics. That's great. That sounds like you're doing that's great. That's like this curve and you're here. So good for you, I suppose. But apparently your mastery of language puts you here. I have no comment about what you're trying to say, so I'm sorry. There are only 2 irregular verbs. Su, I haven't learned that character yet, and ku, haven't learned that character yet. Let me look at what that. I have no meaning attached to those things yet. So, ru, okay. Okay, it's ru. Transitive and intransitive verbs are a concept that I don't think exists in English. Transitive? I'm not quite sure what transitive means either, now that I think about it. Transition words? The closest thing I can think of is transition. I'm not entirely sure what transitive is. So perhaps not. I don't know. Suru is do and kuru is come. Like gerunds. Like I am coming, as in like the act of in the moment. The difference between those 2 types of verbs are whether they act on an object or not, if I remember correctly. Oh. I have no idea if I have a word for that in English. Let's see, in English, do they define a difference between acting on an object? So I'm guessing acting on a object, as in both figurative and literally. Acting on an object or not. So do we in English, do we commonly distinguish intuitively between an object and not an object? I guess they do exist in English, but they work vastly different in Japanese. I can see that. In English, I closed the door, right? That's transitive, yeah. I was sleeping, that's intransitive. Oh, okay. Okay, that's fair. Yeah, so differently. Pretty neat. I haven't gotten to grammar. It's going to be a while before grammar, right? The grammar unit is way down. But I'll keep that in mind, Babin, about your experience. Definitely come back when I get to there. So before I want to wrap this up, this is going to be part of, I usually do these things called deep digressions. And it's been a while since I really went ham on a question, right? So just to wrap back, that's a great demonstration of a different perspective, right? They're different. And these 2 contribute to volume. So a lot of times volume is an estimate of, it's an intuitive estimate a lot of times. Intuitive estimate of difficulty. So I'm not trying to provide what is and is not difficult. A lot of times I focus on what makes something difficult and not difficult to the person saying it. As in, for me, I like to spend a lot of time evaluating the things that make things difficult to me and be able to explain how and why it is difficult to me, right? And I love, Babin, that you talked about the very specific things that you find interesting or different. I'm sorry, but Giz Luisa, you were not really here for my intent it has really little to do. So you're presuming and projecting what my goals are before you decide what is best and sufficient. You may want to check what the goals are, which you clearly, I have not told you what they are, so that's the onus is a bit on me. At the same time, your inability to stop being part of the Dunning-Kruger effect, like Dunning-Kruger, and while I'm like over here somewhere, you're basically here, and it's becoming a very taxing and detached and non-compassionate expression, in my opinion. So kudos to you for being very aggressively helpful, I suppose, but I thought I kind of sort of try to make it clear that it's not very helpful the way you communicate. And just because I'm learning a language, I'm not looking for the best way to learn anything. I'm using this as an exercise of learning. So yes, I would agree with you that if you wanted to embody or immerse in communicative methods, that's great. Like, that is the whole idea. We are immersing by communicating between different people. I'm not here to master Japanese at a high pace or whatever. And I don't really appreciate what you're doing here. And I've done this before. I'm very, for very specific things like virology, I've done this before, but it often comes off as condescending. Unintentionally condescending. But thanks. I absolutely agree about the limitations of Duolingo, but one of my goals is to evaluate Duolingo, not the goal of actively learning Japanese in the most efficient way. It's consistently using something that can be done. And also my goals are restricted because as much as I want to embody and immerse and communicative methods, it also has to be stream friendly and be able to use. And so I'm in the process of evaluating other people's services and products, not self-improvement. So this is not self-improvement forward stream. It's about learning. And ironically, it's about developing communication skills, which oftentimes is lacking in someone who is incredibly specialized in a very, very respectful way. So you are absolutely, I can definitely tell that you know your language and you're really, really probably professional linguistic person, like without a doubt. And I think in that way, you have probably made the language even more daunting, right? Even more daunting. And that's kind of the things that I'm legitimately trying to dispel. And we're talking about the extent of difficulty of a language. So while someone can learn starting with Duolingo and then progressively add something like Turnus is already going down this line, like Bushu and Rensu, which I'm also familiar with because I also looked into these guys before evaluating Duolingo, started evaluating Duolingo. The idea is you start somewhere and not learn best. One of the psychological barriers that is very, very, I would even say, uptrending. I was going to say something like it's a contagion at the moment, is the idea of learning by min-maxing, a maximalist approach to learning. And yes, that's incredibly great. But then you have comments like Babin that suggests being overwhelmed. So as much as there are best ways to do things, and paradoxically it comes from specialists, the irony here is specialists tends to communicate from experience. So they are very good. So you are very professional or expert now. But the way you communicate to people who are learning ends up aiding in being overwhelmed. So a lot of times, yes, Duolingo is not comprehensive. I mean, in fact, it's deficient in a lot of things that I've seen so far. But what it is approachable. And there's a balance between this. Learning is strongly more prioritizing approachability versus maximalist. Maximalist. I don't know of a better word. Like being best way. And oftentimes it even comes at the expense of efficiency. Learning is often not necessarily efficient as well. Because if you never do something, you can never become efficient. So that's my focus here and my intent on using Duolingo. So going to what Turnus said, have you heard of other sites? Yes, I have. Bushu and Rentu, I've heard about that. And they approach learning in a different way. Absolutely. And I'm curious. Yeah, so I am curious too. And making sure that I can actually repurpose and use those techniques. I'll also demonstrate my commentary and trade-offs, pros and cons of their approaches. So the idea, the focus here is the different learning processes. And the idea is to defer learning that best suits a person. So as someone who is incredibly focused on teaching, this is probably my focus. My focus is the psychology of teaching. And my goal is to take in and evaluate as many forms and approaches of learning anything. In this case, by coincidence, it's the Japanese language, right? Whether I master the Japanese language or not, my specific goal is to see what Duolingo offers as an approach for like the psychology behind getting someone to learn. And the only thing I'm mastering here, or the only thing that I specialize here, is trying to explain the learning process so that those who struggle or those who don't, or they're the most successful people, may extract or interchange or combine whatever different approaches. So I need to start somewhere. And the thing about the learning process is that you can't do it overnight. So until I have vigorously demonstrated my applications of Duolingo to learning, a person who is already experienced coming into a stream and suggesting 3 or 4 other things have to remember that my pace in evaluating how learning is not a 15-minute montage of 30 days worth of bootstrapping learning. So, and the whole aiming for maximalist efficiency is a strive to asking the same thing. It's the same approach, in my opinion. You can draw parallelisms between individuals who use words like best hardest, yes, no. So these are absolute terms. So a lot of times these are great if you're specialized already. So when you go on YouTube, these terms are very sensational. To me, personally, as a message that makes me quite unpopular, I suppose, and have lots of pushback, is that learning falls everywhere in here and is often not zeros and ones. So whenever you say something like, oh yeah, my advice is this is the best, or I am aiming to provide the best approach, then no, I disagree. Let me see. The difference between those two, I might have missed a couple of things. I guess they do exist, blah blah blah, that transition. For me, I find things that I can form an emotional connection of some sort to be easier to remember. That's association by context. The association, contextual association, is a very wonderful, older intellectual technique, which I covered briefly, but we'll save that for another one. That's a great example. One thing I've definitely learned the last several months is there's no best way. I've noticed that people who are more motivated to learn are able to acquire the language faster. When a learning method becomes boring, some people tend to stop altogether. When someone's motivated, I think they're more likely. This goes back to, without going too much into the difference between motivational and how much of an impact it has, like the psychology behind it. There's a dichotomy between young with resources, and we're talking about like mental resources, and then old, which have experience. So I'm only talking about the comparable pros. My day one covers a lot of these two juxtapositions. And as one grows older, it's on a scale between this, wherever you are going, right? And my focus often deals with advanced techniques because I'm usually talking about people who are transitioning and they have to learn differently. So I really focus on how adults stop learning to learn because they don't really need it. They're not pressured to do so. So when you're thinking about the techniques you use over time to learn, it's often mechanical. So that goes back to what started this digression first, which is the whole daunting of volume. And my focus now is to introduce people more and more to how when you get older, you can leverage experience and like semantic knowledge to form other benefits that promotes consistency and also accelerates learning. So the idea that when you are young, you learn differently from adults. But here we have a time discrepancy. When you're young, you learn, a lot of people learn most of the way they learn from their youth and carry it into adulthood and hope that that is sufficient for their adulthood. And in adults, when you get into advanced education and you're more still concerned with how people learn and how people educate themselves, adults come up with other methods. And generally, the one that you highlighted, the whole emotional investment or association, contextual association, is one of those techniques. And that's what I typically do. I will learn this stuff because I talk about this stuff. So when I'm talking about this conversation we're having now, it allows me to appreciate the thing I'm focusing on. This criticism, if it's very just food for thought, it is, of course. Especially regarding the professional view, of course. And I'm very enthusiastic to study language. I should find other means to express it. I find general knowledge on how language works is also helpful. Learning how it would be very informative for me as well. That's what I'm doing now too. I don't want to sound, I know I was a little bit aggressive, but I don't think, I agree with you right off the bat, like just superficially, just looking at Duolingo. I already saw the drawbacks and the deficiencies that they may work on, right? Like, so I am looking at it and I'm doing it just so that I can, as in I want to see doing it if I can find any more insights on pointing out all the holes or maybe some other like inspiration. And it takes a very long time, right? The downside about focusing on the learning process is that I can't just say I did this for 5 days and then suggest if I had enough credibility to know what my intuition would have done. And I already seen that after 5 days, I naturally do something, like 2 or 3 things that I naturally do that Duolingo does not provide. So my goal now is I am trying to remember those things and write the things that I'm constantly supplementing or complementing Duolingo. So absolutely, I agree that it's not comprehensive. But the idea is if I were to recommend a product, right, I have to understand that Duolingo is incredibly popular. What makes it popular so may not necessarily be what is comprehensive. And if there's any way I can extract meaningful data or meaningful design cues from Duolingo, I can take those things and maybe apply it to, say, a product or a learning method that I would suggest to someone. So if I ever find different types of people, Duolingo might offer certain approaches that enables me to encourage someone to learn Japanese. It doesn't really have to be Japanese, but in this case, the contextual understanding is that we're talking about Japanese as a language. And we have many of these discussions. I honestly have learned less Japanese than the initial goal of my use of Duolingo, and that's to discuss the psychology behind learning. And I absolutely love that. And language is a great vehicle. Whenever I play video games and try to do these things, I get a lot of pushback because ultimately, statistically, I will be talking to people who are either around 18 years of age or less. And those individuals have a very big pre-selection for the type of learning approaches they have. And oftentimes, to overcome that, Duolingo uses a lot of those design cues. Now, how do I get these 18-year-olds to become greater than 18-year-olds as they age? And my goal now is to try to bridge this gap where I want to develop their skills on how to form emotional associations and many other things to create more consistency. So then we can dispel, in my opinion, this is a hot take. This is the hot take that I feel most people will attack me for. The hot take is that specifically for learning language is not harder when you are older. And what I mean by this is there's a very common conception comparing not other people, so you're not comparing to your stranger. When you compare to yourself, it was easier to learn a language when you were younger, as in you're only comparing to your younger self. However, what is different here that most people intuit is that they intuit their younger techniques most of the time. And language serves as a really wonderful konnichiwa, wonderful deep cut. If I am able to demonstrate some of the what I call intellectual leverage. This is very indescript, but basically you have experiences, you have abilities to form complex emotional associations, you have abstraction. There are a lot of other qualities that you have in the learning process that enhances the perceived difficulty. So if you can harness those things, it gives you an edge as an adult learner. So as you grow older, you will continue to have more and more intellectual leverage. That means emotional responses, contextual enrichment, ear training, flexibility, more developed vocal dexterity, if you allow it. So generally speaking, this stereotype is actually true because learning typically stops when you leave high school. So unless this person is challenged career-wise or like in ways of learning, like for example, you go into a different skill and it challenges you to redefine how you learn in your life. If you determine what you are going to do and focus on that, your learning capacity is restricted to that very specific task. I was a scientist. I bootstrapped the way scientists would do it. Without playing video games, without using Duolingo, without using tools that I would not use as a scientist, I would not need the ability to leverage my experiences to learn differently. So language is harder for those people. That is the hot take. I agree, language is relatively harder for individuals who still rely on their tried and true methods of learning language. And their earliest memories and techniques of learning language is often their native language. The language, however long back they learned. It could be 2 languages. If they learned 2 languages way back, that is still the techniques of learning that they're going to use if they decide in adulthood, I'm going to learn a new language. So what am I trying to demonstrate when I'm learning language with Duolingo is that I am trying to see how other people learn from Duolingo by doing it myself. But when I'm doing it myself, I'm clearly not doing it in the way most people are doing it. And that is my goal. My goal is to demonstrate that when I acquire skills, I purely focus on intellectual leverage. I do not focus on brute forcing, childlike mechanics. Because when you're a kid, holy heck, you have no interference. No intellectual interference whatsoever. So you're not thinking about the world's meanings. You're not thinking about, hey, this sushi sounds like another word, or like when I think of the story that I shared today, jane, right? Jane, as in bye, right? Is reminded interferingly. It could interfere, but I choose to use it as an association to remember this. Jane and Jane Jane, go Jane. Jane, see, I can't even, like, I'm having trouble now. Like, Jane means I already know. Like, of course it is. In Fujianese. Jane is goodbye in Japanese. So you leverage this. If I remember how to say Jane, I know how to say Jane, and those two meanings will forever be locked. And that's how you leverage your experience and your wisdom instead of fighting against it. So as the older you get, it may seem like learning a language or anything like kind of like life skilly like, which is my area of focus, life skills. Language is often, the older you get, the less likely you're going to learn a new language. So if I ask my parents, why not learn English? There's like, we're too old. It's too late. But they know Mandarin. So if you're saying, hey, does that make Mandarin a harder language than English? Not necessarily. It's great to objectify the word hard and easy. It's paradoxical. And my diffusion of this stereotype is that you can learn great things. You can also continue learning at a pace that is always satisfactory to you. As in, not the best way that someone tells you, but you can always satisfy yourself on how rewarding the process is. And that, in my opinion, is the secret to learning, or the hot take to learning. Encourage yourself, motivate yourself. As an adult, you need these things. Oh, you want and need these things strongly. As a kid, not so much. You have no context. Like, you haven't, like, this is the first language you're learning, or they give you 3 languages. You just take it all in. You have no frame of reference. So mechanically, as a kid, you do not have the advantage of intellectual leverage, nor do you have the detriments of intellectual leverage. So a lot of times when people say Japanese is the hardest language, because it is the language you do not know yet compared to your main language. So everything's relative. As a kid, you start a language and that's your only standard. It does not create both the double edge of experience and wisdom. And that's kind of my spiel that I wanted to really talk about. And I talk about this all the time with video games. I wanted to use video games as a vehicle to understand that in the end, the things that I focus on, I usually refer to them as life skills. Learning is one of them. Communication is the next one. And then emotional intelligence. Right? And I'm not talking about emotional intelligence just from an interpersonal, as in between people, interpersonal, but intrapersonal, as in how you communicate with yourself. Because ultimately, my biggest concern right now is maximalist internet is really, here's a hot take, contributing to increased depression due to increased nihilism, especially in young adults. So we're talking about the very moment that the young adult transitions into adulthood, and is usually 18 plus. And it sucks because yeah, you want to learn really fast, and then you have people who are super passionate, especially language. I think I really hit a gold mine here, especially language, right? Language, people want other people to learn language really fast, really well. When you swarm an 18-year-old who is still probably going to need to learn how to learn differently, learn to learn differently, they will ultimately quit before they even realize, even before they even get a chance to learn how to learn differently. So it's tough, and I have been guilty of this for quite some time. I think the effectiveness of my teaching has improved dramatically over the last 10 years because I stopped, I'm not a 18-year-old anymore. Like, I'm not an 18 to 25-year-old where I was thinking. I tutored a lot when starting at like age of 15 is when I started tutoring. Anyone who was less than within a year or two below me, I've tutored all the way up to like 33-ish, right? I'm currently 36. And the rough thing about it is the farther the age gap, right? Or the farther in experience gap, my effectiveness tanked. The effectiveness of my teaching tanked. So often the thing that restricted me a lot of times is now I'm 36. I have even more experience and wisdom, and I'm trying to keep this at bay. I don't want this experience and wisdom gap to continue locking away how I can explain and communicate complex topics in an understandable way, not to simplify topics. And I think Duolingo does that. Duolingo does have a propensity to simplify things. And when you simplify things, they are no longer comprehensive. And that's a detriment, but at the same time, it makes it more approachable. The ultimate goal of learning and teaching is to take retain the complexity, but make it understandable as much as you can. So that's it's different from simplifying things. When you oversimplify things, you lose information. So they've kind of striked a pretty, I actually love their hiragana thing that they're doing. That is like, that should be the front page in my opinion for the time being after 5 days, as opposed to the vocab thing they were doing. And that's usually the criticism a lot of times for most people. The first advice you give to someone who's learning Duolingo is, you gotta learn your kanas first. They're just like, go in, ear train, start looking, associate, don't rely on romaji, that kind of thing, right? And I agree to a great extent. However, that doesn't get me to think what other people are going to do when they're learning Duolingo. So you become further and further detached from what people are struggling with. And learning and teaching deals with understanding how other people are doing it. So not my ideal way of learning, absolutely, but I'm full on learning it that way as much as I can, so that I know if I have a deficit, what would I do to offset that deficit? And I've already changed the way I would do things with what's available basically after day 2, actually. And then adding this like little writing thing is just compensating for Duolingo, right? Anyways, I think that's a pretty nice way to wrap it up. I just believe that people, adults especially, can learn anything, especially when it comes to the intellectual component. Yeah, I know you can't become a marathon runner and be like the top running person, but when it comes to the mind, it's absolutely gorgeous. I don't think gorgeous is the word I'm looking for. It's absolutely malleable. One thing I don't really like about Duolingo is how it was really repetitive, interesting, but then after the completion of a unit, it doesn't revisit those concepts or vocabulary often, and I think it relies too heavily on the learner to seek out some sort of review. Absolutely. I don't think the guidebook is incomplete, and the rereading the story thing, I haven't done this yet, so we're going to do this today, which is, if you go here, you can read stories and then, like listen conversations. So they're expanding that. I think those are relatively new additions, so absolutely I agree with you there. I think you realize one of the earlier versions didn't ask you to make lesson legendary, right? Immediately, sure, right? I do like the whole thing, and they do go back within the unit, but I don't think they push forward in the other units. Absolutely. So what I do all the time is I review myself. So if you ever tune in right in the beginning, I will be reviewing previous units constantly. So I absolutely agree with you. I already naturally do repetition, and I actually don't think it's very repetitive. I believe in foundational work. However, the problem with foundational work is monotony must be mitigated by motivation, right? So you need some psychological purpose that isn't just the repetitious nature of the act itself. It has to become less and less of an act and more of an intrinsic benefit. So here's a great example. When I review my characters, right, the syllables in hiragana, I think about, instead of repetitiously remembering by clicking on these all the time, I always ask myself, what other new words can I make, not knowing what the meaning is, just what familiar words can I make? So today's word is my alias, MAKU. I can finally write MAKU in hiragana. So when you're trying to alleviate repetition, Duolingo could implement something that offsets repetition. So because I had to do it manually, right? So I'm doing it manually to form context and association. So I'm no longer doing the repetitious nature. Like, for example, in the beginning, you know how it keeps going misu, ocha, sushi, and what am I missing? Ocha, misu, sushi, and gohan, right? So instead now, once I got those things down, I think of Gohan, Dragon Ball Z, right? Or Dragon Ball, or actually just Dragon Ball Z, Gohan, and then Mizu kind of reminds me of my newly acquired ability to say miso, right? So what I'm doing is, as I'm doing repetitions, I'm building up associations with all the older repetitions, the foundational ones. So I find myself saying, okay, mitsu, right? But after unit 2, or when I'm getting close to unit 2, I have kana. So now I'm going back to ask myself, can I write mitsu, ocha, sushi, and gohan? And slowly over time, I say, oh, I don't have the syllable. Like, I don't have the icon for this. I don't have the icon for this. But now I have the syllable for this, this, no goes yet. Ha, we just got ha. And then and that's how you alleviate the repetition when Duolingo isn't doing it for you. So a lot of times tools are great, but if you can do it yourself, is even greater, because you take those tools and you carry them for the rest of your life. So what I mean is, when you do a product, it's not about the product being the best. It's about what the product can do and then what it doesn't do. And then when you can do all of that thing, whether a product is there or not, that is the GOAT of learning. In fact, sometimes I would deliberately play, like, for example, we'll use video games. What was FromSoft's, I know you guys might not be familiar with this, but what was FromSoft's claim to fame? Less info. So one of the fundamentals of learning that they violated, the rule breaking, is less info. So in order to adapt to that learning, they removed what the tool provides. And the tool provides other games in the same subgenre. So what happens when you do these two things is you know what is missing and what is there. The idea is one day you will be able to do all of this without a tool. And when you look at and use incomplete products or complementary products, you know, like the websites, right? What is missing, or what you like, or what is deficient, what is offering in a website, and what is in Duolingo. They're going to be different because they have different lists of pros and cons. And what happens is, if you know what's missing in all those, you collectively learn that. And then what they had to offer, you also collectively learn that. So ultimately, you can combine them at your leisure. And that is the goal of having a comprehensive learning process. You're not stuck to the familiar approaches of one way. And that's what I call the hot take. Learning to learn. And what does that mean to me? The scientific method. That's kind of my little like spiel to why science is the way it is. But it's more like peer review and all that other stuff. Just as a wrap. Turnus, anyways, I have to leave for now. Oh, no worries, Turnus. Thanks for interjecting and adding stuff. Let me read the rest. Right. Oh, interesting. I haven't noticed I also almost need to experience something I learned for real in order for it to be retrained. Oh, yeah, nice. XP, association, right? Hello, Dewey. Welcome back, Dewey. I don't know those characters yet. It's rather interesting. It comes from a contraction of Iwa in the sentence ending particle. No idea what that is. It makes it sound friendlier. Oh, it's like saying well then or so. Then we'll add I see. My Japanese teacher also praises Duolingo's hirakana. Oh, okay. Well, there you go. A lot of Giant Ball Z characters, yeah, uses puns. They use food items. A lot of food items for their names. Anyways, good wrap up. I'll probably do this into a deep digression. So I haven't even started learning today, which is kind of funny. And I absolutely love this. Don't be shy. I love the challenge and all the discussions and whatnot. My answer to most things is both. Both, all of the above. When it comes to learning. Learning is all of the above. Don't do this, don't do that, both. Learn to not do this, learn to not do that, or learn to not do things people don't do, learn to do things people do. Oh no, I said do again, but that kind of thing. Mix and match. You are the agent. You have full agency of how you learn, and as an adult, that's your advantage over the child who has over your younger self who has basically no reference at all. So you can always kind of efficiency and min-max yourself as long as you have all the tools. Like if you're constantly collecting information, you can constantly refine the way you learn. That's what keeps scientists on their toes, in my opinion. And that's why the peer review system, even with its particular flaws, right, because of the human condition, allows to refine someone to become constantly an incredible thinker, problem solver, and critical thinker. All right. And before we start, I absolutely need to go to the bathroom. Sorry, excuse me. All right. Now my brain is like moving rapidly. Oh, I'm so wired now. Let's go. Okay. Who needs caffeine when you have naturally occurring epinephrine, right? Okay. Ooh. Let's get in this.
こんばんは、どうぞよろしく。
Gonbawa. Oh yeah, I forgot about Gonbawa. That was the fourth phrase. Gonbawa,
こんばんは、どうぞよろしく。
dojo yoroshiku.
こんばん、どうぞよろしく。
ナオミです。
Naomi desu.
花さん、どうぞよろしく。
Hana-san, dojo yoroshiku.
花さん、どうぞよろしく。
Naomi desu.
なおです。
Hi. Hello there. Jaunt? Hello, from YouTube.
こんにちは、ナオミです。
Konnichiwa, Naomi
こんに
desu.
ちは、ナオミです。
Naomi desu. Dojo yoroshiku.
こんばんは、ナオミです。
Konbawa,
こんばんは、
Naomi
で
desu.
す。 花
Hana
こんにち
konnichiwa.
は
No. Hana-san.
さん、こんにちは。ナオミです。どうぞよろしく。
Naomi
ナオミ
desu.
です。
Dojo
どうぞよろ
yoroshiku.
しく。
Good evening, I'm Naomi. Yeah, okay.
こんばんは。
Naomi
Naomi
desu. You're from Brazil? Hello. I am, hello from the east coast of the United States.
花さん、こんにちは。
Hana-san, konnichiwa. Hello, Hana. Konbawa.
こんばんは。
Konbawa. Sorry, I keep using the G. I need to stop doing that. Konbawa. Ken-san.
さん、
ケンさん、こんにちは。
Ken-san, konnichiwa. Hello, Ken. Ken-san. Ken-san. Konnichiwa.
こんばんは。
Konbawa. Hana desu.
花です。
Hooray! Got our dailies. Okay. We're on day 5. It's been 5 days. Dojo yoroshiku.
どうぞよろしく。
じゃあね。
Jane.
じゃあね。
I'm Hana. Nice to meet you.
花
Hana
で
desu.
す。
Dojo
どう
yoroshiku.
ぞよろしく。
じゃあね、また明日。
Jane. Mata ashita. Bye. See you tomorrow. Mata ashita. Mata ashita, Ken-san.
また明日。ケンさん。
ナオミさん、どうぞよろしく。
Naomi-san.
ナオミさん、どうぞ
Dojo
よろしく。
yoroshiku. Bye. See you tomorrow. じゃあね。
じゃあね。
また明日。
また明日。
ナオミさん、また明日。ナ
Naomi-san.
オミさん、
また明日。
また明日。
See you tomorrow. また明日。
また明日。
ケンさん、 じゃあね。ケン
Ken-san. じゃあね。
じゃあね。
どうぞよろしく。
Dojo yoroshiku. Oops. Nice to meet you.
ケンです。どうぞよろしく。ケン
Ken
で
desu.
す。
Dojo
どうぞよろし
yoroshiku.
く。
花さんじゃあね
Hana-san, Jane. Oh, another thing about repetition is I absolutely love the different voices. I hope they keep expanding their cast because now that I'm
Hana-san.
also going through like the repetition, I just like hearing different voices. It's a very pleasant different experience that you can focus on when you're not trying to contextualize, looking at romaji and hiragana and stuff. Like looking at the kana. Hana-san, じゃあね. Huh. Bye, Hana. I can. じゃあ
じゃあね
ね. Ken-san. I'm Ken. Nice to meet you.
ケ
Ken
ンで
ですす。Dojo
どうぞよろしく。
yoroshiku. What a bro. Ken is... I kind of half expect Ken to just nonchalantly make a Street Fighter reference. Like this guy specifically. I feel like this guy is Ken. Okay. Oh, they have leaderboard updates. Well, that's kind of weird. I forgot we it takes like a specific day, of course. We do way more than
こんばんは、ナオミです。
way more than usual. Previous mistakes. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot to say I'm Naomi. So konbawa Naomi desu. Good evening. I'm Naomi.
花さん、どうぞよろしく。
Hana-san, dojo yoroshiku. Anna, wait. Huh, I wonder if it accepts the reverse. Right? Nice to, yeah. Nice to meet you, Hana.
ナオミさん、こんにちは。
Naomi-san.
ナオミさん、
Konnichiwa.
ケンです。どうぞよろしく。
I'm Ken. Nice to meet you.
こんばんは、ケンです。こんば
Konbawa
んは、ケン
Ken
で
desu.
す。
こんばんは、ナオミです。
Konbawa Naomi desu.
花さん、こんにちは。
Hana-san,
花さん
konnichiwa.
こんにちは。
Nice to meet you, Naomi. Konbawa. Oh, whoops. That's dojo yoroshiku.
どうぞよろしく。
Actually, we could do
ナオ
Naomi-san,
ミさん、どうぞ
dojo
よろしく。
yoroshiku, or the other way around. I think they
どうぞ
accept
よ、
both.
ナオさん、
Yeah, they accept both orders.
花です。こんにちは。
Hana
花
desu.
です。
Konnichiwa.
こんにちは。
I'm Naomi. Nice to meet you. Naomi desu.
ナオです。
Dojo yoroshiku.
どうぞよろしく。
Dojo yoroshiku. Hana? No. Hana.
花、どうぞよろ
Dojo
しく。
yoroshiku. And then they accept both orders again. Another correct solution. Right. I'm Ken. Hello.
こんに
Konnichiwa.
ちは
Ken-san.
ケン
Oh, Ken desu.
です
Sorry. Or, actually, Ken desu,
konnichiwa.
konnichiwa. Okay. It's slightly flexible. Not as flexible as English, obviously, because of PEPs. Many users. We talked about this. Okay. Jemmies? Jemmies. And then, oh. Do we get to... Oh, we don't get to do that? Oh, okay. So this doesn't actually tell you to do hirakana. But we do hirakana between each session. So we do 4 hirakana each. So we're gonna do one more lesson because we kind of ran out of hearts because I was being frivolous here. So let's do this unit and then do the hirakana. Expand our hirakana. Order food and drinks. Okay, yeah, that's you. Okay. I do like my food. What tips you have? Different ways of writing. Yeah, the writing system, katakana, is used mostly for words borrowed from other languages. Yeah, they mentioned that before. Like hiragana, each character represents a syllable. Hiragana and katakana may be mixed in the same sentence in the following example. Pizza to keiki? Keiki. Keiki, yeah. Pizza to keiki. Interesting.
ピザとケーキ。
Obviously, I haven't done any katakana yet, but that's moving on ahead, right? That's the thing that I'm talking about, that it's kind of nice to tease things in advance, but too much of this teasing can also distract and overwhelm someone away from foundational work, which is the repetitious nature of foundational work. And for myself personally, I prefer foundational work and incorporating new things slowly. Because as I get older, learning skills is a longer path than it is for a younger person. My younger self would probably be starting to dissect
ピザとケーキ。ピ
all
ザ
of
とケー
this
キ。
at the same time, or try to take it in all at the same time, and then abstractly brute
Pizza to
force
cake.
all these kanas as they're going, which I don't normally do anymore. I'm already familiar with pizza to keiki because of listening to Japanese people talk in various media. On topic, using wa, which suspiciously look like our introduction to ha, after where it makes its topic of the sentence, the rest of the sentence is comment. So the only thing I know from this current tip, right, which is a teaser for the future, is that ha is how I would also see that as right now, but it looks like wa is also a thing. So this is kind of like being a distractor, right? So because we're looking at katakana as opposed to hirakana, and I actually looked into a little bit of how these are drawn, or like on Wikipedia yesterday a little bit, and I am aware that this symbol looks suspiciously like each other, right? So karie wa oishii desu. Curry. Oh, kari. Yeah, karie. Oh, there are two E's in. Okay. Karie wa oishi. Oh, oishi. Yeah, right. Oishi desu. I'm familiar with most of these words too. I just haven't seen the romaji. I actually probably seen this more than the romaji actually. The hiragana, oh yeah, it's already said here. The hiragana is only pronounced wa as a topic marker. Otherwise, it's pronounced ha. Okay, so they already explained it. Like, I only got through here, and I just didn't read the rest. just processing everything as it's going. Question. Putting ka at the end of a sentence turns a statement into a question. Notice that a period is still used. Okay. Oh, oshi desu ka. Oh. It's kind of funny. Now I'm thinking of like Pepega ways to say things. Like, oh, wait, we can do things like that. Like, Naomi desu ka? Right? That's kind of cool, right? Does that work the same way? I'm pretty sure. Oh, I get it. That's cute. That's a lot of little teasers for the future. I like it. Okay. So we're doing we're still doing the new unit, right? Ordering stuff. So I'm guessing they're going to reintroduce the food items, which technically is a review. Even though we were on the topic of lack of review when between units, right? Mitsu,
水
mitsu, kudasai,
ください
gohan,
ご飯
sushi,
寿司
ocha,
お茶
ramen, like oh, that's something I'm not familiar with yet. Ramen. Here's the visual presentation again of gohan. Kari. Kare? 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 Yeah, kare. Oh, you know what? I'm saying the I'm saying the Fujianese thing. So kare, kare and sushi, right? So kare and ramen is new.
ラーメン
Ramen. Okay, cool. I'll get it with some practice. It takes I would say it takes like 2 days with verbally exaggerating, and then the following day it gets a little softer and a little bit crispier, and then the second day we kind of do pretty well. Ramen.
ラーメン
Ramen.
ラーメン
Okay, ramen. Of course. Kare, ocha, mitsu. Oh, I wasn't even paying attention to the prompt. I just kicked on that. Oh, sorry.
これは
That's
ラ
me
ーメン
distracting
です
myself. これは we can do we have re? No, we don't have re yet. So we only have wa and ko so far.
これは
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 ラーメンです。
ですこれはラーメンです
です。I will be saying that
これは
at some point. So this is ramen.
ラ
Ra. Okay. Ra. Me.
め
Ramen.
これはカレーです
Kore. Oh, that's one.
これ
Kore.
Wa.
Oh, I see the wa. I see. Kore wa. Interesting. Kore wa ramen.
ラーメン
Ramen. Wait. Oh, I did it again. I was supposed to put kare out. I'm distracting myself. Okay, I need to stop getting distracted.
ラーメンは美味しいです。
I'm so focused on the hiragana and katakana at the moment. Okay. Gotta focus.
ラーメンは美味しいです。
Oishi. Yeah. O-I-shi. So, oishi. Ramen wa, right? Ramen wa oishi desu. Okay. This ramen is tasty. Wait,
です。美味しい。
No articles. Ramen is tasty. Yes. The, this, that, right? The, this, that. O, E, she, E. Oh. It matters order. Because of the puzzle things. I remember that too. Just limitations. Restrictive limitations. O, E, she, E. We can actually write those. You know, all three of these kana. Oishi.
お茶は美味しいです。
Ocha wa oishi. Ocha wa oishi desu. Ooh. Oishi desu.
お茶は美味しいです。
Ocha wa oishi desu. Green tea is tasty. Kore. Kore. Oh, that's. And then kare. Okay, so yeah, so. Kore. Kore? Oh yeah, the first one is the yeah.
これ
Kore. Oishi.
おいしい
Oishi. Kare.
カレー、
Kare. Ramen.
ラーメン、
Ramen. And mitsu.
水、
Ooh. Oh, these are fun. This is sushi. Kore wa kore
これ
wa sushi
寿司で
desu?
す。
No. Wait. Yes. No.
これ
Kore wa
は
sushi
寿司です
desu? Okay.
美味しいラーメン、
Oishi ramen. Ramen.
美味し
Oishi
い
ramen.
ラーメン、
カレーは美味しいです。
カレーは美味しいです。Curry is tasty.
これは水です。
これ
これ
は
は
水です。
水です。
So this is water. Tasty curry. We put it after. So, カレーおいしい? Oh, no. Order does matter. So it's exact the order. Fair enough. So you still put it, it's not flexible in terms of where the adjective goes. Fair enough. Learning lesson. これ
これ
this
ご飯
gohan ramen.
ラーメン、
I need to exaggerate that a little bit more. It'll be a lot less quiet once I stop forcing it. But ramen, ramen, おいしい
美味しい、
おいしいカ
カレ
レー
ー
カレーカレー
カレー、これはカレーです。
これは
これは
はそしてせよラ
ラー
ーメン
メンです。これはカレーです。
Oh, カレーです。I keep kidding.
カレー、
I keep
ラーメン
Oh,
です。
okay. これはカレーです。Tasty curry. Oh, we did. This is the miss thing, right? おい
美味
し
しい
おいしい
カ
カ
レー。
レー That dance. Oof. That was a little rough. Just so let's not talk about that. More jammies. Okay. Just flexing around on order just to see. It's kind of like video gamey at this point. You're just like, what if I turn the order around? Does it still work? Pizza,
ピザ
pizza, pizza,
ピザ
pizza. Oh, that's interesting. Pizza. Keiki, keiki. Oh, I had another revelation or another association. Maybe it'll come back to me. Pizza.
これはピザです。
Korewa pizza desu. This is pizza. Korewa pizza desu. Trying to look at the structure without knowing any of the like conjugation rules and whatnot.
これは
Okay. Keiki.
ケーキ。おいしいケーキ。
Wow, you sound so enthusiastic. Oishii keiki.
ピザは美味しいです
Pizza wa. Oh, wa. So, pizza wa. Pizza wa. Oishii
美味
desu.
しいですピザは美味しいです
Interesting. Okay. Keiki.
それはラーメンです。
Sore wa.
それは
Oh, you know, now I'm thinking of all the end credits of animes when they start with sore wa. Like
それは
sore wa something something. It's like a sponsor, or this is a product, or that is a product of something. Sore wa ramen desu. That is ramen. Oh, you know what's another fun thing I've been doing? Just because it's not really not important or proper, but I was thinking I was messing around with all the kana that I've learned, and I thought to myself, if I needed to read English words, right? If I needed to read English words, what would that sound like if I had to read it with kana, right? So like where it's like isu, or like how you get that, right? Or and like aundu, or aundo. So I started messing around with using kana deliberately and intentionally onto English words, and that's where I'm like learning extra kana practice, where I try to convert the literal English word into a kana, like into kana sounds. It's kind of fun. It's largely what I would think of when I'm trying to impersonate, like if I was trying to create a character, right? Like, what would a character sound like if they spoke Japanese but they read everything with just kana straight up, and they just know what they just recognize the romaji but only know the kana, right? So that made it sound it was really fun to do that for fun. Hi. Thanks, Edmund. Hello. Yes. Tasty pizza. Right. O
お
I
し
shi
い
I
ピ
I
ザ
za
ザザ
za. Okay. Oishi pizza. Oishi pizza. Oh, right.
い
Right. Puzzle pieces. Again,
い
non-interchangeable puzzle pieces.
それはお茶です。
Sorewa ocha desu. Right. That is green tea, my man. Wait. Hold up. I don't think I had the syllables for it yet, right? No. Ma? Wait, how does matcha work? I guess we're gonna have to, we're gonna learn that at some point. Because I imagine ma is a syllable. What about the T next to cha? Interesting. In the future.
これとそれ
Koreto sore?
これと
To
それ
wait. Koreto sore, this and that? This and that. Wow. Koreto sore. That's cute. Huh. Fun phrase, this and that. First time seeing that. This is pizza. Kore
これ
wa pizza?
ピザ。
That's tasty. So
そう
re wa oi i shi i. Sore wa oishii. Oh, des. Oh no, I forgot des. Right, it's oh dang, I forgot about that. Yikes. Wait, how do I have so many? Thought I ran out of hearts. Hold up. I have one more? Huh. Sore.
それ
I should go right to left. So, kore,
これ
ocha, keiki,
ケーキ
pizza.
ピザ
Their Z's are really enhanced here. My Z's are being carried over from a mix between Mandarin and English.
ケーキは美味しいです
It's more like pizza. Pizza.
ケーキは美味しいです
Eiki.
ケーキ
Eiki.
美味しいケーキは美味しいです
Interesting. Eiki oshi. Oishi desu.
ケーキは美味しいです
Oh, wa.
は
Wait.
ケーキは美味しいです
Huh. I mean, I'm gonna take the word for it at the moment. And we're gonna have to figure out the context of des and wa and do. Oh. Cake is tasty. Keiki wa oishi desu. Okay. That's curry. So それはカレー
カレー
カレーで。
ですす。
ラーメン、
ラーメン、
ケーキ、
ケーキ、
それ、ピッツァ、
ピザ、
ピザ、ピザ、これ。
これ、
Alright, that's tasty. So, それはおい、whoops, いしいで
で、
す。それはおいしいです。or それはおいしいです。That burp. Hooray! 2x, so legend challenge, right? No? Oh, okay. Oh yeah, because we didn't complete. それ
それ、
ピザ、
ピザ、
ケーキ、
ケーキ、
これ、ラーメン。
ラーメン、
美味しいですか？
おいしいですか? Oh, hey! Is it tasty? おいしいですか?
ピザですか？
ピザですか?
ピザ
で
です
すか? I love being able to ask questions now. Is it curry?
カ
curry
レーで。
ですか?
はい、美味しいです。
はい。
はい、
Here.
はい、
Yes. Oh, I know hi as in yes, but here?
美味しい。
Tasty. Oh, so
Hi.
that's hi. So yes. Oishi desu. It's tasty.
それはラーメンですか？
それ
それ
は
は
ラーメン
ラーメン
で
ですす
か?
か？
Is that ramen? Yes, it's cake. いい。はい。はい。ケーキです。
す。
ピ
ピ
ザ。
ザ、
Pizza. Man. I'm getting really terrible at Z's, just like my parents. Pizza. Instead of pizza, like an S. Or G. My parents turned Z's into G, so pizza. So now I'm between sa, and ja, as opposed to za. Pizza. それカレーおいしい
おいしい、
水
水、
Oh yeah, mizu. Man. Zu. Zebra. Zu, za. Okay.
いいえ、水です。
Ie.
いいえ、
Oh, there's an extra E. So when I was thinking ie, when I learned
いいえ、
the kana for E and A, it's actually
Ie.
ie. Oh, okay. Ie. Mizu desu. It's mizu. It's water. Is this sushi? Sushi
Sushi
desu ka?
か、
Oh, I forgot about this. Oh no. Yeah, we'll end the session. Let's try this new thing. Because apparently, I didn't even notice, but apparently you can practice for hearts. Let's try
医
this.
者です。
You shut this. So I haven't done that. Yesterday we ran out of hearts because we were distracted. Isha this. So he's a doctor, right? Do I need the A? Yes, I do.
かっこいい学生。
Kakui kakse.
かっこいい学生。
Kakse,
優
right?
しい人です。
Yasashi hito desu. Nice person.
先生、医者。
Sensei isha.
先生、
Sensei
医者。
isha. A teacher and a doctor.
かっこいい人です。
Kakui hito desu. Hito. Kakui hito desu. A cool person. Or she's a cool person. That's fine too. Oh, hey, it does accept. Oh, okay. Okay. All right. I'm like simplifying this. I just subconsciously just simplifying this. But yeah, it technically formally it's she's a cool person. We can do that too. Oh, you know?
かっ
That's
こ
kind
い
of
い
nice.
弁護士です。
Kakoi
かっ
bengoshi
弁護士
desu.
です。
学生です。
Gakusei desu. So that means I could use a student. Let's just, she's a student.
かっこいい。
Kakoi, I mean, it's context specific, so I'm glad they can just place that.
かっ
Kakoi
こいい。かっ
this?
こいい。
Oh, just kakoi. Kakoi.
優しい弁護士とかっこいい先生。
Okay. Nice lawyer and a cool teacher. I guess you could say, oh no, there's no this.
優しい人です。
Yasashi.
優
Yasashi
しい
hito desu.
人です。優しい人です。
Right.
先生です。
Sensei desu. He's a teacher. Presumably, if I put in a teacher, it might actually be okay. They might accept that. A lawyer, a doctor. Okay. Bengoshi to. Oh no. And bengoshi, isha.
医者。
He's a doctor. He's a nice doctor.
優し
Yasashi
い
isha
で
desu.
す。
She's a nice person. She's a nice person. Yasashi
や
hito desu.
です。
A teacher and a student. Sensei to
先生、
sensei to
と
gasei.
学生、
She's a student.
学
Gasei
生で
desu.
す。
So we get the heart. Nice. So you can constantly practice to get hearts. Ooh, that's kind of. You can burn out. You can burn out. All right, let's get back. ケー
ケー
キ。
キ。
これ。
これ、
Oh. I thought we were matching. Man. Alright, well, more practice. Oh! Select the correct meaning. Okay. I slipped and I should really watch where I'm clicking. Okay, ramen.
ラーメン、
right?
ピザは美味しいです。
Oh, hey, you can practice this stuff now. Okay. Pizza wa oishii desu. Oishii desu. I'm dropping this syllable occasionally. Pizza wa oishii desu. Okay. Tasty pizza. No. Pizza is tasty. Yes. Trying to stop myself from doing English mannerisms. So one of the things a lot of times is the use of substituting adjectives as opposed to using the passive voice. So the passive voice, like using a passive verb, like pizza is tasty, instead of saying tasty pizza. Yeah, that's a very English thing. So I gotta prevent myself from doing it immediately. Like, I'm actually interpreting this phrase
美味しい。
not literally. I'm interpreting it and then I'm filtering it using English. So I'm already doing I'm skipping a couple steps. Like, one would say tasty pizza as a more active way of describing something versus pizza is tasty. Because now you can say tasty pizza is great. So it adds more like complexity to the sentence. Keiki.
ケーキ。
それはケーキです。
Sore wa keiki desu. So that is pizza. I mean, pizza. That is cake. Ooh, apostrophe S. Huh. Oh, contractions. Oh, okay, so they accept both. That's cake or that is cake. Ooh. I'm gonna be real. Sometimes when I read Japanese, I get into the whole filtering thing of not using contractions. It's kind of weird. Would I say that's cake? Yeah, I would say that's cake. If I go up to someone and say, yeah, that's cake. However, when you're like thinking clearly, I usually don't use contractions. That is cake. Weirdly enough. Like, what's that? Or what is that? Having a more formal clarity, I don't generally use contractions, but in this case, interesting. I'm interfering with myself now. I'm using my like English tendencies a lot. Kare.
カレー
Kare. Gotta breathe out.
ピザと水ください。
Pizza to mizu kudasai. So, pizza and water, please. Those apostrophe S's. Pizza.
ピザ、
Pizza.
ラーメンは美味しいです。
Ramen no. Ramen. Oh, ramen wa oishii desu. Yeah, ramen is tasty.
ピザください。
Pizza.
ピザ
Kudasai.
ください。
Tasty cake.
おいしい。
Oishii.
ケーキ。
Keiki. Okay.
これはカレーです。
Kore wa kare desu. Kare desu.
これ
Kore wa
カレー
kare desu.
これはカレーです。
Okay, this is This is cake. I mean, sorry, this is curry. This is sushi. これはsushi です。
カレーは美味しいです。
カレーは、これ、wait. I think it was カレー、美味しいです、right?
カレーは美味しいです。
Oh. No. カレーは美味しいです。
です。
Does this mean this is tasty curry too? No, curry is tasty. Okay, this is how you say without sore. Oh yeah, without sore or kore. Okay, got it. That's cake. それはケーキです。
です。
Alright, I'm getting used to it now. Alright, cool. That's curry. それ Oh, no. それはカレーです。これは Whoops. これはカレーです。Alright. Let's try this again. Maybe we should get 2 hearts. Let's try this again. それラーメンケーキこれピザ
美味しいですか？
美味しいですか? Aww. I love this phrase. 美味しいですか? Oh, now it makes so much sense now. Like 美味しいです and then 美味しいですか? ですか? Is there an uptone?
美味しいですか？
There is an uptone. There is a slight uptone.
美味しいですか？
美味しいですか? I'm not sure if that's deliberate or it's
です
just
か？
that's just how the sounds in the end. A lot of times in English you use uptone to indicate a question. Is it tasty?
ピザですか？
ピザですか? Pizza
ピザ
Pizzaですか?
か
Is it curry? Is it curry? So, カレーですか? Ooh, what?
コーヒ
Coffee. And I've noticed that this thing, I guess we'll learn the combo, right? The combo with this notation. So, カレーですか? Can this be wrong? No. We gotta slow down.
はい、美味しいです。
はい、美味しいです。美味しいです。I keep dropping this I. 美味しいです。Yes. It's tasty. Yes.
それはラーメンですか？
それはラーメン
で
ですすか?
それはラーメンですか？
Okay. Oh. Is that ramen? Yes, it's cake. あ、い、はい。ケーキです。はい、ケーキです。Okay, 水。
水
Trying to really emphasize the Z so I stop making that mistake of bouncing between two Z sounds. Mizu, mizu, mizu. Kare,
カレー
sore,
それ
pizza,
ピザ
pizza. おいしい。
おいしい
Oh, no. おいしい。おいしい。
いいえ、水です。
いいえ、水です。いいえ、いいえ、水です。Gotta exaggerate. More exaggeration. They'll roll together at some point. No, it's water. Is this sushi? Sushi です
で
か?
か
Oh no, I
Sushi,
made the same
sushi.
mistake.
です。
This. So it's これは寿司ですか?
いいえ、それはピザです。
いいえ、それはピザです。ピザです。ピザです。いいえ、それはピザです。No. That's a pizza. No, that's pizza. No, that is pizza. Right. I prefer using non-contractions.
それはおいしいですか
そ
そ
れ
れ
はピ
ピ
ザ
ザ
で
です
すか?
それはおいしいですか
No.
ピザですかおいしい
おいしいですか?
か
Is that tasty?
それはおいしいですか
I probably use the word delicious more than tasty, but I get it. I wonder what the word delicious is. それはおいしいですか? Yes, it's tasty.
は、
い It's okay, so おいしいですはいおいしいですピザ
ピザ
ケー
ケ
キ
ーキ
ラーメン
ラーメン
これ
これ
それ
それ
これはラーメンですか
これはラーメンですか So this is ramen. Oh. Is this ramen? Yes.
いいえカレーです
いいえ、いいえ。
い
え。カレーです。いいえ、カレーです。or いいえ、カレーです。Yes, this is tasty.
はい。
これは
これ
おい
おい
し
し
いです。Okay, no, okay. Not a question. おいしいです。
カレ
それ、
それ、
これ、
これ、
ご飯、
ご飯、
ピザ
ー、。ピザ。
Boy, that took a bit. Ah, there's one more. I kind of want to do hiragana. Okay. Oh, the recap. Okay. はい。
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 それは美味しいですか？
それは美味しいですか? Is that tasty? Yeah.
いいえ、
Yeah.
それはラーメンですか？
それはラーメンですか? Is that ramen? What's up with this? It's. I see you. ケーキ。
ケーキ。
これは寿司ですか？
これは寿司ですか? これは寿司ですか? これ? The question is this sushi? Okay. カレー。
カレー。
これはラーメンですか？
これはこれはラーメンですか?
これはラーメンですか？
So airy. Is this ramen? Right? The slow clap.
これは美味しいケーキです。
これはおいしいケーキですのか?
これは美味しいケーキです。
Okay. これ
これ
はおいしいケー
ケー
キ
キ
で
ですす。これは美味しいケーキです。はい、これはご飯です。
はい。これはご飯です。Yes. は
はいい。これは
ご飯です。
です。
これは美味しいお茶です。
これは美味しいお茶です。Right? So, これはおいし
美味しい
お茶
お茶
で。
ですす。これは美味しいお茶です。それはカレーです。
それはカレーです。
それはカレーです。
カレーです。Yeah. そ
それ
れ
は
は
カレ
ーです。
です。それはカレーです。
Hooray! All right. Legend challenge. Oh yeah, I can do this legend challenge. I have gems. Nice.
美味しいピザ。
おいしい
美味しい
ピザ。
ピザ。美味しいピザ。
Okay. Tasty pizza. Curry and ramen. カレーと
と
ラーメン。
ラーメン。
これはラーメンです。
これはラーメンです。
これは
ラーメン
で
です。
す。これはラーメンです。
No, it's water. いいえ。
いいえ。
いいえ。いいえ。 It's water. So, mitsu で
水
す。水、水、水です。
です。
お茶は美味しいです。
お茶は美味しいです。お
お茶
茶は
美
美味
味しい
しいです。
です。お茶は美味しいです。
Tasty green tea. Green tea is tasty. Oh. Oh. Okay. Yes, it's cake. Oops. はい。ケー
ケー
キ
キ
です。
これはケーキです。
これはケーキです。こ
これ
れは
は
ケー
ケー
キ
キで。
ですす。いいえ、
いいえ、
いいえ、ケーキです。
ケーキです。
それはラーメンですか？
それはラーメンですか？それはラーメン
ラーメン
で
です
すか？ Is that ramen?
はい、お茶です。
はい、お茶です。Yes, it's green tea.
いいえ、それはピザです。
いいえ、
いいえ、
ピザ。ピ
ピ
ザ
ザ
で。
ですす。
No, it's pizza?
いいえ、それはピザです。
Oh,
ピザ、ピザ。
それは、そう。
いいえ、それはピザです。
それ
それ
はピザ
ピザです
です。No, that's pizza.
これとそれ。
これとそれ。I like this phrase. これとそれ。This and that. I'm gonna use that phrase every once in a while. I wonder if it means the same thing, this and that. Like the same sentiments. これとそれ。これとそれ。This and that. Left and right. You know, zeros and ones. Okay. That's curry. So れは
それ
カレーで。
ですす。
これは水です。
これは水です。This is water. This is, oh my gosh. This is water. Just kidding. This is, there is another way to write that, but we're not gonna go there. Is that tasty? それはおいしい
おいしい
ですか？
ですか？
それはおいしいですか？
カレーですか？
カレーですか？カレーですか？Is it? No. Is it? Oh yeah, is it dirty? Man, the whole it thing.
はい、これはご飯です。
はい、これはご飯です。Yes, this is rice. Oh, no. Yes. はい、いえ、はい、いえ。Okay. All right, we can finally do our hiragana, our kana today. Oh man, this is our first kana exercise for today. So what was yesterday's? It was Now I gotta remind myself. Ku? Ku? Right? Mo? Say? And nah. Something like this. Nah. Those are our 4 characters yesterday. On top of everything else. Okay.
You.
This is the shading practice. Sphere shading practice. Su. Oh, I worked on su and tu. So ski and ski and ski. So ski is moon and ski is like or really like or love. So ski and ski.
Ri.
Ri. Oh, ri is right. Ri. And we remember ri as a relationship to ri and e. Oh, no, not e. Is it e? Yeah, e.
Da.
Da. The number 5. Da. Okay, yuki. 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 Sorry, yuki. Ki is he is right. It's kind of slanted and all that stuff, but you know. So you, ki,
Yuki.
and then we have Sara, Sara, ski, ski. Yuka. Yeah, Yuka. Yuka. Sorry, Yuka. I'm laxing the K too much. And starting to sound like a G. Gotta be careful of that. This is Sachu. 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 Sachu.
Yuri.
Yuri. Yuri. You.
E.
Oh no, it's you, not E. Whoops. I was thinking of you. You is related to Ri. Oh, it's funny. Yuri. Yuri.
Yuri.
These are the 2 that I'm linking together. Oh. Oh, Yuri. Oh. Oh no. This must be. Oh boy. It's okay though. Hiragana doesn't consume hearts. Someone already told me a while ago. Oh, whoops. Yuri. Whoops. Lily, huh? Yuri. Okay. I should have thought about it a little longer. Mari.
Mari.
Yuri.
Yuri.
Maru.
Mayu.
Mayu. Sorry, Mayu. I had an R there. Hatsu.
Hatsu.
Hatsu. And Sara.
Sara.
Kara. Kara.
Kara.
This is Ri. Sora. Sora. And Yuki. Yuki, not Uki. Which is what I mixed up earlier. Yuki.
夏
Natsu. Wait.
夏
Na.
夏夏
Na. Tsu. Oh yeah. Natsu. Na.
な
Tsu.
つ
Summer, right? uh. Okay. Sara.
皿
Tsuki.
妻
Oh, Tsuma. Whoops. Every time I see Tsu, I keep thinking of Tsuki because I've been practicing it. Tsuma. Yeah. This is Tetsu.
鉄
Yuka.
ゆか
And Yumi.
ゆみ
Okay. Chiri. Chiri. Chiri.
ちり
And then this is Mari. Yuri. And Mayu. Chiri.
寺
Tera. E.
て
Ra.
ら
Temple, right? Tera. Chiri.
ちり
Yumi.
ゆみ
Mitsu.
みつ ゆ
Yuka.
か
Sora.
そら
Yumi. Yumi. And this is Suki. Suki. Satsu. And Atsu. Atsu. What sound does this make? It makes Mitsu. Mitsu.
空
Sora. Sora. Okay. Okay. Suki. Oh, wait. Oh my gosh, I did it again. Sutma. I did it again. I just read the I read the first kana and I just forget the second one. Oh my gosh. I need to stop that. Mitsu. Mari. This is Ski. And then Atsu.
ゆり
Yuri. Oh, you. Yeah, Yuri.
Yu.
Ri.
Ri.
Okay. So awkward. Alright. 3 more to go.
浜
Hama. Hama. Kiso. Kiso.
基礎
So. Atsu. Mayu. Ama. Ama.
果て
Hate. 8. Hate. Ama. Wow, look, Hama showed up so many times.
浜
Ama. Haki. Yeah, Haki. Ama. Ama. And Tsuma. Iso.
8、
8. Ha.
は、
Chi.
ち、
8, right? Right? 8. The word for 8. Tetsu.
鉄、
Hatsu.
初、
Kitsu.
基礎、
So. Haki.
履き、
Hachi.
橋、妻、
Tsuma. Rub it in, why don't you? Hate. Ha. Te.
果て、
Mayu. Tetsu. And Hashi. Ski. Oh, I did it again. Oh my gosh. I need to stop doing that. Okay. Stop reading the first. I did it again.
基礎、
I swear that's the third time in a row. It's like I'm 3 out of 5 for constantly just have my blinders up. I need to stop doing that. Okay. Kitso. Gosh. This is what happens when you tunnel vision, when you hyper focus on something. Hashi.
橋、
Mari. Haki. So. Ate.
島、
Shima. Shi.
し、
Ma.
Ma.
Island. Shima. Sora.
Sora.
Ashi.
橋、
Mayu.
眉、
Kiso.
基礎、
Ama.
甘、果て、
Ate. A. De. Ate. This is Ama. Aki. And So. Sora. Sora. Aki. So. Ama.
花、
Ana. Ha. Na. Ana. Flower. Supmo. Supma. 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 I'm gonna say it a couple more times. Atsu. Itsu. Ama. Shima. Now I can't unsee it. Supma. Oh my gosh. Alright. That's the second one. Let's go with the third one. We're gonna hit new characters soon. Mo.
Mo.
Mo. Mo. Mo. Mo. E. Wait, is that E? Yeah. Mo E. So. You.
Ku.
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 Oh, we're doing the new ones. So te, ta, shi, se,
Se.
I, o, you,
Na.
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 This is sa, ha, ma. Okay, this is o,
O.
na,
Na.
mo,
Mo.
ku,
Ku.
se.
Se.
靴、靴、
Katsu. Katsu. Wait.
靴
Katsu. So
か
katsu.
つ
Katsu. Oh no. Oh, kutsu.
靴
Kutsu.
Kutsu.
Oh no. I thought it was katsu. Kutsu. Shoes. Kutsu. Okay. Fair
夏
enough. You listen a little bit more carefully. Natsu. Okay. Naka. Naka.
中
Naka. Taka. Natsu. Hana.
店
Mise. Mise.
店
Mochi? Oh, hey, mochi. Maki. And maki. Miso. Oh, hey, that's kind of cool. These are what I would classify as all vocabulary that involves food that I think of. Except for mise. I'm not sure about mise. These three. So mochi, maki, and miso. I'm hungry. Just a little bit. Kutsu. This is the one that I miss. Kutsu.
靴
Mise.
店
Naka.
中
Natsu.
Natsu.
Natsu. Sorry. Natsu. Hana.
花餅
Mochi. Mo.
も
Chi.
ち
雲
Kumo. Kumo. Miso. Miso.
味噌
This is mise. Sora. Sochi.
口
Kuchi. Oh, this is kuchi.
靴
Oh no, wait. Wait.
口口
Oh, kuchi. Sorry. Yeah, kuchi. Chi. Kutsu. And mochi. Kuchi.
口
Nana.
7
Anime, by the way. Miso.
味噌
Hana.
花
Kumo.
雲7
Nana.
なな
Oh, wait. Oh. Did that say swan? Oh. Okay. Ku. This is ri, I,
も
mo. This is you, I, so. Na. Ma. Mo. Ku. Se.
線
Sen. Sen. So se. Wait. Oh, why did I put teim? Oh my gosh, why did I pick this? Sorry, that's just a lapse of judgment. Actually, that's just rushing. Oh, teim. Oh my gosh, why did I do that? Mori, mo, ri. Right, and then this is kiri, kiri, kuri, kuri, mochi.
草
Kusa, kusa, kusa.
草
Yes, kusa, chi, mo, kuchi, kutsu, kuchu. Kuchu. That's close enough. Fine. I'm getting a little tired. Hana. Kuma. Kuchi. I mean, Kusa, sorry. Kusa. Mori. Sein.
クマ
Sein. Sein.
クマ
Kuma. Kuma.
靴
Which is bear, of course. Thank you, Tekken.
靴
Kutsu.
靴
Tsu.
く
Tsu.
靴
Tsu. Choose, right?
Sing.
That's the one we missed.
Sing.
Sane. So, not pick the wrong character for 1,000. Sane. Okay.
Introducing the Duolingo Family Plan. Encourage all your favorite people to learn a language with unlimited hearts, no ads, and more to help them learn fast. Add anyone to your plan. Your family, your friends, anyone. Save together, learn together with the Duolingo Family Plan.
It's good. It's a good distraction, actually. I really like the background music still. I would love a full track of the background music for that ad. Okay, one more exercise. I'm being less diligent lately. Okay. Oh no, this is our last one. Introducing new ones. Oh, we're gonna probably forget this somehow. All right. All right, 4 new characters. Let's go. Wait. Okay. We have K, like in keiki. Well, actually, it's more like cake, but I guess now we know that when you have like this is K, and then you put one like this dash here. That's what I noticed anyways. So K, right? Keiki. So key, right? We know key. Right? Keiki. So now we know K, which is a lazier, the way I'm gonna remember this is it's a lazier ha. It's like ha, I nailed it. And then K is like, all right, it's okay, you know. If you're going for ha and you only end up with K, it's fine. But when you really nail it, right, you get, you feel like ha. Nay. Nay reminds me of a fancy wa. Right? This is wa. Nay. So it's a super fancy ballerina kicking something. Knee. Knee is a lazy ta, right? So this is ta, and then we have knee. So if we say something like tani, which is, I don't even know if it's a word, but we'll associate tani together. Close enough. It's not that close. Well, that's where we're gonna form associations. And then we have niwa, newa, or wane. Wayne. Oh no, but Wayne. Oh wait. Does it Wayne have a H? No, Wayne. Wane. That's a pretty good association. And then what is this? Hake? Or Keiha? No, I like Hake. You know what Hake reminds me of? It reminds me of hockey. Because if you think of oh no, but it would be like hokure, hokuke, hokukeri, kei. This is what I mean by messing around with if you were to pronounce this with only kana, how would you do it? It would be like hokukeri, kei, hokukei, e. So hake. Alright, so ha, so we take ha. And then we get k. Okay, alright. So we have hake, wane, tani, and then fu. What the heck is fu? You know what fu really looks like? It looks like a nose. Although these lines are different. Oh, it really do be looking like a nose, slightly at an angle pointed this way. That's not related to anything. It's kind of as toxic as E, right? And then Ri. It's just basically lines unattached to each other. Dang. Fu, okay. Fu is gonna be interesting. It's gonna be easily recognized, but man, holy, like, holy. Alright. And then fu, to say fu, try not to let your lip touch your teeth. Fu? It's as if you were blowing out a tiny candle. Fu? Sorry if that caused some wind noises, but alright, we got this. So if we erase the things, what are our relationships? Hate, no, hake, wane, ta, ani, and then it's just fu. So hake, wane, tani, fu. That's what we're gonna use for our memory tools. All right, let's go.
Ke.
Ke. Right, hake.
Ke.
Ke.
Fu.
Ooh. Ooh. Oh, okay. That's actually a little bit. Huh. Why is this and this?
Fu.
Fu. Fu. Like fu. And like makes you blow into the fu. I'm almost whistling. Fu. Hu. Su. Ha. A. No, ooh. Ooh. Aha, ooh.
Ke.
K. K, like hake.
Ke.
Na. Te.
Ne.
Ne. Right. So ne is wa ne.
ね
Ne.
け
Ke.
け
This is ku. Su. So. Ne.
ね
Ra. Se. I.
ふ
Hu.
ふ
Wa. Oh, sorry. That's not wa. That's o. Wait. That o? Yeah, that's o. O. Chi. Na.
に
Ni. Which we're gonna make it relate to ta. Ani.
に
Ni.
ね
Ne.
ね
And then na. Su. And e. Ni.
に
Ha. Oh, interesting. So ha. Ma. And mo.
に
Ni.
に
This is a. She. Who.
ふ
Who. Who. Mo. Ha. Su.
冬
Who you. Who you. Who. You.
ゆ
This is ni. Ni. Ne. Ke. So ni. Ne. Ke. Winter. Who you. Huh. Who you. Winter.
ね
Oh. Ne.
ね
I. Ni. Say. Ne.
に
Oh, so ni. Ke.
け
O. Ne.
ね
Who.
ふ
Who. A. O. U. A.
に
Ni. So. E. E. This is ne. K. Ni. U.
猫
Nico. Oh, hey, Nico. We can spell Nico. Cat. Dang. Ne. Go. Nice. We can finally spell cat. Nico. All right. Now we have to go into extra innings. Ooh. All right. Before that, another bathroom break. Okay, hunky dory. Oh my gosh. That rain cloud. Okay. That animation's so good. Alright. Okay. We've done some really minor things. You know what? I think we gotta get an extra heart so that we complete, right? Let's get one extra heart. And we're only gonna do half the exercise since we did a lot of practice. Don't want to burn out. Okay. じゃあね。
じゃあね。
ケンです。こんにちは。
Ken desu. Konnichiwa. I'm hello. I'm Ken. Yes. Oh, they said I'm Ken. Hello. Oh, that's interesting. Either or, I suppose.
ナオミさん、また明日。
Naomi-san.
また明
Mata
日。
Naomi. See you tomorrow? Or see you tomorrow, Naomi.
じゃあね。
じゃあね。
こんばんは、ナオミです。
こんばんは、Naomi です。
こんばんは、
Good evening,
ナオミさん。
Oops. Why did I pick sun? Oh my gosh.
ナオミさん、こんにちは。
My hands are not cooperating today. Naomi-san, konnichiwa. Hello, Naomi.
ナオミです。
Naomi です。I'm
ナオミです
Naomi. Right.
じゃあね、また明日。
じゃあね。また明日。Bye. See you tomorrow.
花さん、こんにちは。
Hana-san.
花さん、こんにちは。
Hello, Hana.
こんばんは、花です。
こんばんは、Hana です。Good evening. I'm Hana.
ケンさん、また明日。
Ken-san.
さん、
また明日。
また明日。
See you tomorrow, Ken. Good evening. Nice to meet you. こんばん
こんばんは
は。どうぞ
どうぞ
よろしく。
よろしく。
じゃあね。
じゃあね。
花
花
さん、
or Hana, whoops.
さん。
Hana
です
です。どう
ど
ぞ
うぞ
よろしく。
どうぞよろしく。
ケン、
Ken-san. こんにちは。Okay. I'm Ken. Hello.
ケン、
Ken で。
ですす。
こんにちは。
こんにちは。
こんにちは。こんにちは。こんにちは。
こんばんは、ナオミです。
こんばんは。こんば
こん
んは。
ばんは、ナオ
Naomi
ミで。
ですす。Alright. So we got the extra heart. Nice. Always good practice. Alright, let's go in here.
Ken
Introduce
です。
yourself. Yeah, right. More stuff.
ケ
Ken
ンです
this. I'm Ken. Nice to meet you.
ケン、
Ken
で
this. どうぞよろしく。
どうぞよろしく。
こんにちは、どうぞよろしく。
こんにちは。どうぞよろしく。
どうぞよろしく。花です。
Hanaです。I'm Hana.
こんにちは、花です。
こんにちは。
花で。
ですす。Hello, I'm Hana.
花です。
Hana です。I'm Hana.
ケンです。こんにちは。Ken です。こんにちは。
Hello, I'm Ken. Or I'm Ken, hello. It's fine. Hello, I'm Hana. I guess you could do こんにちは。花です。
ケンです。どうぞよろしく。
Ken です。I'm Ken. Nice to meet you. Hello, nice to meet you. こんにちは。どうぞよろしく。
どうぞよろしく。
花です。どうぞよろしく。
花です。Nice to meet you. Hello, I'm Ken. So,
Ken
Ken
で
です。
す。こんにちは。
Actually,
こんにちは。
we could probably do it this way. Yeah. こんにちは、Ken です。
花です。こんにちは。
花です。こんにちは。I'm Hana. Hello. I'm Ken. Ken です。
です。
花です。
花です。
どうぞよろしく。
どうぞよろしく。
Hey. On to the next one.
ナオミです。
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 I'm Naomi. こんばんは。こんばんは。I keep doing the G.
こんばんは。
こんばんは。
ナオミです。どうぞよろしく。
ナオミです。
ナオミです。
どうぞよろしく。
どうぞよろしく。
ナオミです。
ナオミです。
こんばんは、ナオミです。
こんばんは。こんばんは。
こんばんは。こんばんは。こんばんは。
ナオミです。Or
ナオミです。こんばんは、ナオミです。
Good evening, I'm Naomi, right? Good evening, I'm Hana. こんばんは。
こんばんは。
花です。
花です。
花さん、こんにちは。
花さん、
さん、
こ
こん
んにちは
にちは。。
こんばんは。
こんばんは。
ナオミ
ナオミ
で。
ですす。
ナオミさん、こんにちは。
ナオミさん。
ナオミさん、
こんにちは。
花さん、こんばんは。
花さん、こんばんは。Good evening, Hana.
ケンさん、こんばんは。
Ken さん、こんばんは。Good evening, Ken. Good evening, Hana. Hana さん。こんばんは。Hello, Naomi.
こんにちは。Naomi さん。
Oh, or the other way around. Oh, this can be the other way around too, right? Hana さん、
ど
どうぞ
うぞよろしく。
よろしく。Okay. Let's keep going.
どうぞよろしく。
どうぞ
どうぞよろしく。
じゃあね。
じゃあね。
じゃあね。じゃあね。
また明日。
また明日。See you tomorrow.
ナオミさん、また明日。
ナオミさん。
ナオミさん、
また明日。
じゃあね。また明日。
じゃあね。Or, sorry, bye. See you tomorrow. Every once in a while,
ナ
it's
オミ
good
さ
to use
ん、どう
English.
ぞよろしく。
ナオミさん、
ナオミさん、
どうぞよろし
どうぞよ
く。
ろしく。ナオミさん、どうぞよろしく。
じゃあ
じゃあ
ね
ね。
また明日。
また明日。
ケンです。どうぞよろしく。
ケンで
ですす。
どうぞ
どうぞ
よろ
よろし
しく
く。
See you tomorrow. また明日。
また明日。
花さん、じゃあね。
花さん、じゃあね。Bye, Hana. I'm Ken. Nice to meet you. Ken, san. Oh. Yeah, Ken-san, どうぞよろしく. Oh no, not Ken-san.
です。
Ken です。
花です。どうぞよろしく。
Hana です。I'm Hana. Nice to meet you. Hey? Hana-san, どうぞよろしく。
どうぞよろしく。
Oh. Des. I totally messed up. Des. My bad. Matashita. Hana. Oh, actually. Hana. San. Matashita. I'm rushing a little bit. Just a little bit. Hana. Yes.
です。
どうぞよろしく。
どうぞよろしく。
Okay. Oh, there's still one more? Oh, wait. I said I was going to go halfway, huh? Let's finish it. Or fail. We'll see. It's fine. I'm Hana. Nice to meet you. Hana です。
花です。
です。どうぞよろしく。
どうぞよろしく。
こんばんは、ナオミです。
こんばんは。こんばんは。Naomi です。Good evening. I'm Naomi.
ナオミさん、こんにちは。ナオミさん、
こんにちは。
こんにちは。
花さん、どうぞよろしく。
花さん、どうぞよろしく。どうぞよろしく。Does this matter? Nice to meet you, Hana.
花です。こんにちは。
Hana です。
花です。
こん
こん
にちは。
にちは。
花です。どうぞよろしく。
Nice. Oh, no. I'm Hana. Nice to meet you. Context.
花さん、こんにちは。
Hana-san.
花さん、こんにちは。
ケンです。どうぞよろしく。
Ken です。どうぞよろしく。I'm Ken. Nice to meet you.
ナオミさん、どうぞよろしく。ナオミさん、
どうぞよろしく。
こんにちは。
No, wait.
こんにちは。
Ken san. Oh no.
ケンさん。
No. It's
こんにち
konnichiwa
は。ケ
Ken
ンさ
san.
ん。
Or the other way. Oh, I was thinking of the other way. So like Hana
花さ
san.
ん、こんにちは。
And then good evening. Ken. Konbawa
こんばんは。
Ken
さ
san.
ん。
Or the other way too.
ケンさん。
Konbawa. Right. Hooray! I guess we can do the challenge, right? No, we cannot. Unfortunate. No more gemmies. Not enough gemmies. Alright. Let's do 3 hirakanas. Which will not introduce new characters, but end with the 4 new characters that we just learned. Sa-un. Oh, it's, this one is not going to have it. Sa-un.
Chin.
Oops. That's chi. What am I doing? Sa. Where's sa?
San.
San. Ki. Kin. shin, and ain.
円円
N, A, N,
円
sun, un, and eki. Huh. Okay. Let's see. Ski.
好き
Kita.
北
Sta.
下
Shita. Sorry. Shita. Ain.
円
Ain. Uta.
歌駅
Eki. E.
駅
E. Ki.
き
Train station. Eki. Okay. Watashi. Watashi.
私
Watashi. Atashi. Atashi. Watasu. Watasu. Watatsu. Yeah, watatsu. Wakashi. Yeah, wakashi. Yes.
明日
Ashita. Ashita.
明日
This is watashi. Shitai. Shitai. Yeah, shitai. Shitai. Atashi. Atashi. Shikai. Shikai.
近い
Wakai. Wakai.
若い
Takai. Takai.
高い
Watashi. Watashi.
私
Ashita.
明
Ashita.
日高い
Takai. Ta.
Ka.
I.
高い
Takai. Expensive. Takai. Ashita. Ashita.
明日
Ashita. Shitai. Yeah, shitai. Atashi. Watashi.
北端
Wait.
北端北端
Kita.
Kitam?
Okay. Kita. Kita. Yeah.
北端
Kita. Chitown. Satown. 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 Sakiun. Okay. Kitang.
北端
Ashita.
明日
Watashi.
私
Watasu.
渡す
Watatsu. Okay. Taunka. Taunka?
単価
Tanka.
近い
Chikai. Chi. Chi. A.
Ka.
I.
近い
Okay. Close. Chikai. Ochita. O. Oshita. Ochita. This is Otaki. Otaki. Okita. Osawata. Sawata. Osata. Osata. Interesting.
Onchi.
Onchi. Onchi. Onchi. Onchi. Okita. Okita. Onta. Onta. Ochita. Okay. Chikai. Ashita. Hanga. Hanga. Watashi. Hitan. Hitan.
明日。
明日。明日。明日。Tomorrow. 明日。Oh. Mata ashita. Got it. Mata ashita. See you tomorrow. Ashita. Alright. Two. Two? Two. Always, I'm always accenting the U a little too much. Two. This is you. U. And yeah, U and she. Li. This is ra, go, and e. Ra. Two. Two. Chi and ri. You. U. Two. Itsu. Yuki. Yuki, and this is Yuko, Yumi, and Yuka. Tsuki. So Tsuki. And then Tsui. Yeah, Tsui. Ritsu. Okay. Sara. Sari.
Rai.
Oh. Rai. Yeah. Sachi. Satsu. Itsu. And then Yumi. Kara. Ra. From. Kara. Oh, I get it. So wait. What is Coco? There's a chorus in one of the anime songs. Coco, Kara. So something from... What's the translation? Anyways, we'll figure it out eventually. Ichira? Oh no, wait, this is Kochira. Kochira. I don't even need to listen, really. Riko in So Rikon. Rikon.
離婚
Rikon. Rikion. 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 Rikarin. Rikan. Sakon. Sakon. Sakon.
暑い
Atsui.
暑い
Atsui. Atsui.
暑
Atsui.
い
Atsuko. 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 Watsuri. Watsuri. Washiri. Yeah, washiri. Washiri. So many s and two stuff. You, su,
La
la. This is chi, ri, su. Chi, ri, you, da, and su.
皿
Sara, sa. Wait. Sara, oh, Sara. A plate, Sara. Okay. Oh, can I say dinner plate yet? No, I can't say dinner plate yet. I don't actually know what dinner is. Ski. Adding it. I keep adding extra emphasis. Ski. Ski. One day. When I get tired, I start adding an extra syllable in this. Sui. Itsu. Ritsu.
から
Kara. Kara. Sara. Kawa. Satsu. Yeah, satsu. Itsu. Yuki. Sachu. Rai. And Sai.
好き
Wait. Sounds like ski. No, ski. Yeah, ski. Kochira. Kochira. This is Irachi. Chicago. Yeah. Chicago. Ichira.
離婚
Recon. Wait.
離婚
Recon. And then Rikan. Sakon. Rikian. kochira. Atsu, atsui, 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 yeah, atsui. Urikakon, urikon. Urikian. Irachi.
暑い
Atsui. 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 Boy, I think this is a good place to stop for today. I can feel my throat tensing up quite a bit. Yeah, we did a lot of extra exercise today. Just a little extra. Lots of extra stuff. Okay. Pretty good. Let's see. 5. So, ski, and suki, right? Ski and ski are my problems right now, right? So, and then whenever tsu, whenever tsu is in the middle of a word or the beginning of words, it's kind of hard to roll into it. So tsuki, right? And itsu, itsu is fine. Itsu, but there are others like hatsu. Hatsu's fine. I think E next to tsu is very rough for me. Like otsu, no, that's fine actually. Itsu, yeah, the other way around is fine. It's I think this is a common problem. And when I mean a common problem from an English speaker perspective, there are a lot of examples where tsu is at the end of words, but it's not at the beginning of words. So ski is kind of hard versus ski, like a tsunami, right? Tsunami as opposed to tsunami, right? And obviously tsunami is probably a way different word. I'm sure it means something else. But tsunami, right? That's kind of rough. So this has been a sticking point. Tsu, and then who is kind of rough right now. I'm really tight on who. Where's who at? Who. This is not organized in the way that, so whenever you see the hiragana, you always see that like table thing, but I don't think this is organized in the same way. Who. Once I hear enough, it'll be fine. Like Fukushima, right? Fukushima, Fukushima. So I have all those words, right? Yeah. Shima. Oh, I can't even spell it. Fukushima. The Fukushima, right? Do I have a roll yet? I don't think I have a roll. No row, no re's, and no re's and no ru's. And then the symbol, the hiragana, is kind of rough still between ni, Ne. Ni, ne. It's just ni and ne, really. So, ni, and then ne is the, okay. How many, like just single have we have left? 1, 2, some things to look forward to. Ya, he. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So another 3 days? Pretty dang good for day 5, I would say. If I say so myself. Okay. And you know what? I didn't click on this at all last time. Let's read your first story. Let's try this before we end. Oh. Never mind. Oh, is that just telling me to reread a story to review words? Wait, what? Wait. No, we'll do that next time. It's fine. Almost at the end of Unit 2. I really like these exercises. These exercises are amazing. Gakuon. Add a symbol to change the sound. So we've been exposed to a bunch of these already. The Dakuon. Yeah. A lot of these actually. Oh, there's Ga. And in combos. 2 combos we've seen already a couple times. Oh, that's not even considered a combo. Interesting. Well, slowly but surely. Oh, are they? They're probably katakana combos. No, they're not. Oh, yeah, it is. The long vowels. Yeah, we've seen a lot of long vowels already. All right. That's a wrap for Duolingo for today. I'm gonna change paces, so I guess this is time to say "Ja ne, mata shita," right? I wonder how you say "until next time." But I'll definitely be back tomorrow, right? Today is, yeah, we're keeping the streak alive, so mata shita.